Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Short Skirts and Sarcasm. I'm Caroline. This is my February TBR. I'm going to be taking you through the, I think, 9 books that I want to read this month. So this is American Black History Month. So I have tried to put a lot of Black authors on this list. Not all of them are because of NetGalley publication dates and books that I've started and need to finish this month, but they are mostly by Black authors. So starting with Amari and the Night Brothers, this is a middle grade book about Amari who is trying to find her brother who has gone missing. So she goes into a magical world. So she has a chance to join the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, completing missions in a world where mermaids, aliens, and magicians are real, and her roommate is a were-dragon. Secrets and surprises await Amari as she discovers her own rare and dangerous magical power, and as soon as she realizes that the Bureau could hold the key to finding her brother, all she has to do is pass these 3 tryouts. So this sounds delightful. I've heard so many good things about this, so I am so pumped to be reading it this month. And it might look a little big, but I think the text is pretty large, so I don't think this will take me too long. And also it's just a beautiful edition. Like, it's sparkly, has sprayed edges, like everything about this book already makes me so happy, and I am so excited to read it. Next, I want to read Stormsong by C.L. Polk. This is the sequel to Witchmark that I read in, I think, October. It might have been November. I think it was October. So I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but basically Witchmark, the first book in this series, is about a magician who is living through what is kind of a World War I analog in a magical realm that is not our world, but seems pretty similar. And he needs to keep it a secret that he is a magician, and he is also trying to heal veterans of this war who have been wounded. And it was a wild ride. I loved it, and so I'm so excited to continue with this series. Then I want to read The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. I read the 5th season, the first book in this trilogy, in January, and loved it. So I am, again, excited to continue with this series. So in the first book, we follow 3 different people who are sort of roaming the land trying to escape these things called seasons, which is essentially the earth being a little mad and having a bunch of natural disasters. So they're all, I think it's pronounced origins, but basically they're associated with the seasons because they have like supernatural powers associated with nature. So it's about them. It's a very interesting adventure story, and I need more. Then I want to read An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. I have read River Solomon's other works, not all of them, but I've read Blood is Another Word for Hunger, which was great, and Starland, which was also great. So I am excited for this to also be great. Aster has little to offer folks in the way of rebuttal when they call her ogre and freak. She's used to the names, but she only wishes there was more truth to them. If she were truly a monster, she'd be powerful enough to tear down the walls around her until nothing remained of her worlds. Aster lives in the low-deck slums of the HSS Matilda, a space vessel organized much like the antebellum South. For generations, Matilda has ferried the last of humanity to a mythical promised land. On its way, the ship's leaders have imposed harsh moral restrictions and deep indignities on the dark-skinned sharecroppers like Aster. Embroiled in a grudge with a brutal overseer, Aster learns that there may be a way to improve her lot if she is willing to sow the seeds of civil war. So this sounds like a wild ride, space setting. I'm so intrigued and so excited. Then I want to read Pandora by Susan Stokes Chapman, which, just want to brag, look at this beautiful edition. So pretty. Anyway, this is a Georgian London Pandora myth retelling where Pandora, also known as Dora, is helping out in her uncle's antiquity shop when they get a vase and she decides to open it. So I love that this is sticking to the original myth where the thing that Pandora opens is a jar or a vase, not a box. And I also love that it's in Georgian London. So I did have an excerpt of this from NetGalley. I didn't have the whole thing, so I read that. So I'm about 100 pages into this already, and I don't want to put this down and like forget everything and then have to either jump in and try to remind myself or reread the first 100 pages. So I do want to finish this month. And then I want to read Black Witch Magic, which is a romance. Forgotten what it's about, apart from it being about a witch and a romance. This is a Kindle book and it's by Mila Nix. And it's the first in a series. I do think I have the whole trilogy. It's called the Paranormal Hunters series. And librarian by day, cursed witch by night, Celine Blackston spends her day camped out in library corners with her nose glued to books. This sounds like my dream job. Where do I sign up for this? In a town like Brimrock, where she's an outcast, she prefers her book friends to her real-life enemies. They're a lot less judgmental. Yeah, sounds good. The rest of the town believes she descends from a family of witches, including her evil witch grandma, Luna. In this case, the truth is stranger than fiction. She is a witch and cursed for all of eternity. Good thing her to-be-read list is pretty long. Prickly paranormal investigator Aidan O'Hare speaks 2 languages, sarcasm and more sarcasm. He travels the country and sometimes even the world, investigating strange phenomena with his best friend Eddie. Their investigations bring them to a cozy New England town called Brimrock, home to the fabled witch, Luna Blackston. Armed with his dry wit, his bibliophilic love for books, and far too much free time, he is determined to find out just what happened to Luna. When Aiden meets Celine, he decides he must get to know her. When Celine learns Aiden is investigating her grandma, she knows she must stop him. He's out to expose the truth. She's out to keep it a secret. Neither expects to fall under the other's spell, but sometimes love is supernatural. So this sounds so fun. And Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts rated it 4 stars. She talked about it. That's how I found out about this book. So I did get the series. I think they were all like discounted on Kindle. I'm not sure if they still are, but worth checking out if you have a Kindle. And I am so pumped. And next I have a NetGalley e-arc, Moonlight and the Pearler's Daughter by Lizzie Pooks. It might be Pucks, but I'm not quite sure. The Brightwell family has sailed from England to make their new home in Western Australia. 10-year-old Eliza knows little of what awaits them on the shores beyond the shining pearls and shells like soup plates, the things her father promised to make their fortune. 10 years later, Charles Brightwell, now the bay's most prolific pearler, goes missing from his ship while out at sea. Whispers from the townsfolk suggest a mutiny and a murder, but headstrong Eliza, convinced there is more to the story, refuses to believe her father is dead. It falls on her to ask the questions no one else dares consider. But in a town teeming with corruption, prejudice, and blackmail, Eliza soon learns that the truth can cost more than pearls, so she must decide how much she is willing to pay and how far she is willing to go to find out. This, again, I'm not going to say it sounds fun because it sounds kind of harrowing, but it sounds intriguing. It sounds interesting. It sounds action-packed. It sounds mysterious. And I love all those things. So excited to read this, excited to review it for NetGalley. And last on this list, I have The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House by Audre Lorde. This is tiny, so I think I can knock it out in a day. And I'm really excited to read this. I've had this for a few months, and because it was really inexpensive, and I've never read any Audre Lorde, so it is time to fix that and read this. This is like a short book of, I think, a few essays that might be parts of bigger books, which I will probably try to read in the future. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for all of these. Happy February, happy reading. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.